Hello, this is Alova with astrowisdom.net, and Fedor with East to West Astrology is translating in Spanish. We are going to look at some sky maps. These are maps of the actual sky with the positions of the planets and the stars shown on the map. Okay. So I'd like to show you first the chart of a very famous astrologer. Most people, though, don't know that he was an astrologer. He was Isaac Newton. He's the one that had the apple fall on his head, and he formulated the very famous laws of motion. He was born on January 4th, 1643. And when somebody challenged him about his belief in astrology, he wrote, "Sir, I have studied it. You have not." So he is known as a physicist, but he was also an astrologer. And this is his chart. If we construct his chart in the Western tropical zodiac, since he was born January 4th, his sun shows up in Capricorn, which is what the newspapers would say. He is a Capricorn since he is born on January 4th. So I would like to show you where the stars actually were, the stars and the planets, when he was born. We can do this in this astrology program called Sirius. We just click on Map and we click on Sky Map. And this is an actual map of the whole sky when Isaac Newton was born. The yellow line across the center is the ecliptic. You can see here, these are the constellations. This is Aries here, a few stars up here. This is the constellation of Taurus. There are two very big, bright stars. One is Aldebaran, one is El Nat. So this is the constellation of Taurus. Here's the constellation of Gemini, the two twin stars. Pollux is shown here, Castor is right next to it. So this is the constellation of Gemini. These 3 points with the one in the center is the constellation of Cancer. This constellation is Leo. Notice that the very bright star Regulus, which gives the Leo its name and character, is right here on the ecliptic, and it's part of the constellation of Leo. Then over here is the constellation of Virgo. You can see it's like, these are the legs here, here's the other leg, and notice that the fixed star Spica is part of the constellation of Virgo. Then we come to Libra. Notice that there's a triangular shape with two things hanging down here like a balance, and so that's where the name of Libra comes from. After that is the constellation of Scorpius, the scorpion here. Sagittarius is not labeled, it's right in here. And then here's the constellation of Capricorn, this triangular shape with a little tail over here, that's Capricorn. Then Aquarius is next. You see this whole configuration here. That's the constellation of Aquarius, the water bearer. And then Pisces starts near the end here, and then it continues over here. You see this, that's part of the Pisces configuration, that Pisces constellation. Okay, so we're looking at the chart of Isaac Newton, born January 4th, 1643, and this is where his sun is. See, it's labeled the sun. And we can see from the map that his sun is actually in the constellation of Sagittarius. It's not over here in Capricorn. There isn't anything over here in Capricorn at all. I'm sorry that here's the label of Sagittarius right here. Okay, so you can see that the sun is right in the middle of the constellation of Sagittarius, right here. If we want to see that, we can choose the sidereal zodiac instead of the tropical. All we have to do is change the setting from tropical to sidereal, And when we calculate the chart in sidereal zodiac, that means it has to do with the stars, we see that indeed his sun now shows up where it's supposed to be in Sagittarius. His actual sun was in the constellation of Sagittarius. For those of you who may not be familiar with this outer ring around the chart, these are small constellations. These constellations here, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, those are the big constellations. They're 30 degrees each. These are the small constellations that are also important in interpretation, but that's just what that ring is. Okay, let me show you another chart of a very famous person who was very famous as a Cancer. She was born July 1st. This is Princess Diana. And many articles have been written about her as a Cancer and analyzing her chart that way. And we see that indeed her tropical chart, if it's tropical here, it shows up as her sun being 9 degrees in Cancer. Well, let's take a look at the actual map of the sky when Princess Diana was born. Again, here is the sun right here, and you can see that it is right in the middle of the constellation of Gemini. Cancer's way over here. So when she was born, her sun was actually literally in the constellation of Gemini. That is, these are the stars that were right behind her sun. It was this section of the zodiac where her sun was. So if we would like to see that particular fact in the chart, again, all we do is we can calculate it in sidereal. And if we calculate it in sidereal, indeed her sun is in the constellation of Gemini. It's right in the middle of Gemini there. Okay? We need to rethink a little bit our notions. We tend to identify with, I'm a Cancer, I'm a Gemini, like that. But there are actually many things in the chart that that indicate what our character is, what our habits are, what our nature is. It's not only the sun sign. Let's go to another person. Here is Gandhi. He was born on October 2nd. His birthday is celebrated every year as a national holiday in India. And so people would say that he's a Libra because he was born on October 2nd. That's what they say in the West. They say he's a Libra. In India, they don't say that because they already use the sidereal zodiac. Let's look at where the stars really were when Gandhi was born. Again, we just look at this sky map, and here is the actual picture of the sky when he was born. By the way, this pink line here is the horizon. Since he was born near the equator, he was it is a little bit squarish shaped. But anyway, we can see his sun right here. The sun is very clearly in Virgo. Virgo lasts from here all the way up to here, and Libra starts over here. So his sun was not even near any of the stars of the Libra constellation when he was born. His sun was actually right in the Virgo constellation when he was born. That is the truth of the matter. So let's take a look at what happens when, again, we can simply choose sidereal zodiac instead of tropical. And lo and behold, the sidereal zodiac shows that his sun is indeed in Virgo, which is right where it was on the actual map of the sky. Okay, let's look at Michael Jackson. We have people from all different walks of life, and he was born on August 29th, and so the newspapers would all say that he is a Virgo. Okay, August 29th is usually considered Virgo. That's in the Western zodiac only. And so let's look at the map of the sky when he was born. Okay, here's the sun when Michael Jackson was born. And we see that again, it's right in the middle of the Leo constellation. Here's Virgo. Virgo doesn't start till about here. And here's the Leo constellation. So Michael Jackson's sun was actually in the Leo constellation when he was born. So again, we can correct Michael Jackson's chart. And here we go, when we set it to sidereal. Here we see his sun shows that his sun was in Leo when he was born, which reflects the truth of what we would actually see in the sky. Okay, let's do one more. Here's Mother Teresa. I have her chart listed as an example on my website. She was born August 26th, so again, she would also be listed as a Virgo. If you look up her chart, it shows that her sun would be in Virgo, in this case 2 degrees of Virgo. Let's take a look at where the planets and the sun really were when she was born. Here's the sun, and again, it's very close to the bright star Regulus, okay, which is the main star in the constellation of Leo. So Mother Teresa's sun was actually in Leo. It was not in Virgo at all. It was, in fact, nowhere near Virgo. Here's Virgo over here. Here's Leo. So we can correct Mother Teresa's chart in the same way. All we do is choose sidereal. And here her sun indicates correctly that her sun was in Leo when she was born. So we can go through example after example. This is always the case, and I'll explain why that is. But that's what that's the difference between the sidereal zodiac and the tropical zodiac. The tropical zodiac that is used in Western newspapers and magazines and by most Western astrologers does not have anything to do with the stars, as you can see. What they do is they set their telescopes at 0 degrees of Aries every March 22nd. So because that's easy, it's a convenient measuring tool for telescopes. They just set their 0 to the direction of the sun on the spring equinox in the northern hemisphere, which is approximately March 21st. They know exactly what time that is. And all the telescopes all over the world are recalibrated that day. So they're not calibrated according to any of these stars. They're calibrated only according to the position of the Earth's orbit at that moment. So the tropical zodiac doesn't have anything to do with the stars. It has only to do with the Earth and the sun and the Earth's orbit around the sun. So the next time you get an astrology reading or give one, ask your astrologer, where are my planets actually? Thanks for sharing our interest in astrology. This is Alova with AstroWisdom.net and Fedor in Spanish with EastToWestAstrology.com.